Hello my dear students. See, in the previous classes we have understood about the introduction of statistics and then about the collection of data, isn't it? So in that collection of data you came across the concepts like what are the different types of data that a researcher will collect, isn't it? So there a researcher will be collecting two types of data, we can say. One is primary data and the second one is secondary data. What do you mean by primary data? See, primary data means the researcher will be collecting the data for the first time. Okay, that is known as what? Primary data. So primary data can be collected through observation method, through personal interview, isn't it? Telephone interview, through questionnaire, like this. Then the secondary data is the data which is already collected by other researcher, or the information, the data which is already available regarding to that particular topic will be used by a researcher. That can be called as what? Secondary data. Then what are the sources that gives the secondary data? Secondary data ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿಂದ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂದರೆ newspapers, magazines, previous project reports, isn't it? So by using this we can get the secondary data. Okay, so then after that you came across the concept like what is meant by questionnaire, isn't it? How to prepare the questionnaire. Then we have come across the concept like what is meant by census and what do you mean by sample survey. What do you mean by census? How many years once this census will be conducted? See, census will be conducted once in 10 years. What do you mean by census then? Census means year every individual will be considered for the study. For example, if you want to estimate the population size, then we will be undertaking a census survey, isn't it? So each and every population will be considered under study. So that is known as what? Census. So how you can define this census then? So census can be defined in this manner, that is a survey which includes every element of the population. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಹಾಗಾದರೆ? ಸಿ, ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ any one of the individual for study, for research purpose. That is known as what? Sample survey. Okay, so what do you mean by sample then? A sample refers to a group or a section of a population from which information is to be obtained. Okay, so this we have understood in the earlier class. Then after that we came to know that the concept of pilot survey also. What do you mean by pilot survey? See, pilot survey means pre-testing of the questionnaire, can be called as what? Your pilot survey. So in this pilot survey what happens is, once the questionnaire is ready, it is advisable to conduct a tryout for a small group. Okay, so that we can understand whether the questionnaire what we have prepared for getting the information from the respondents is correct or not. Can I get the proper answer, proper reply from the respondents or not, alva? So questionnaire ತಯಾರಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನೇರ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಓಕೆ, ನಾವೇನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಪೈಲಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಪೈಲಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ನಾವೇನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ come across three modes there, isn't it? First one was personal interview and the second one was mailing questionnaire, then telephone interview, isn't it? Then after this we have come across the concept like random sampling. What do you mean by random sampling? It is a one where the individual unit from the population are selected at random. See, in the entire population we will be selecting few of the individual unit randomly. Okay, so among the samples available for our study, in the entire population I will be selecting some units, that is I will be selecting some samples randomly in the entire population. That can be called as what? Random sampling. See, in this random sampling, each and every unit of individual is having a chance to be selected. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರೂ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು random sampling ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನ್ random sampling. Then what do you mean by non random sampling? See, in this method all the units of population do not have a equal chance to be selected for the study. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಾನ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇರೋಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕೂಡ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಎರರ್, isn't it? What do you mean by sampling error? See, it is the difference between the actual value of a parameter and the estimated value of a parameter. So that difference can be called as what? Sampling error. Okay, then we came across the concept like non-sampling error, then how the census of India will be conducted, then which are the different organizations that are responsible for conducting the census we have understood there, isn't it? There we came across some of the abbreviations and the institutions or the organization when it was started and all. For example, if you take NSSO, what is the expansion of NSSO? National Sample Survey Organization. Then what is the expansion of CSO? Central Statistical Organization. Then other one is RGI. RGI refers to what? Registrar General of India. Then you came across the expansion of DGCIS also. What is the expansion of DGCIS? It is Directorate General of Commercial Intelligence and Statistics. Okay, then after that you will be knowing about NSSO also in that chapter. Then we shall move on to the next topic, that is the third chapter, that is organization of data. Organization of data. Okay, so ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನೀವೇನೇನು ಓದ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವೀಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಏನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ? Introduction of statistics, isn't it? And there you came across how the statistics can be useful to understand economics. That also we have understood there. Then in data collection you came to know that what are the different types of data, then what are the different modes of collecting data, isn't it? Then how to collect that primary data, for example through questionnaire, isn't it? Like that, and different methods were there like personal interview, mailing questionnaire, telephone interview and all. See, after collecting data, the next step will be in this research work is organization of data. Organize means what here? Organization of data means we have to properly classify the data what I have collected. So if I classify properly, it will be useful for my further research work. So research work ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂದರೆ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆರ್ಗನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡಾಟಾ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಆರ್ಗನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ, isn't it? Then here you will be knowing about raw data initially. Okay, what is raw data? So we can say that organization of data means classification of data, that is raw data in a proper order can be called as what? Organization of data. So here you will be knowing initially about raw data. What is that? Raw data. What do you mean by this raw data? The data which is not classified. Data which is not classified. ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಅದು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ರಾ ಡಾಟಾ. ಸೊ ರಾ ಡಾಟಾ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಆವಾಗ ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, classification of data. Classification of data. So how do you classify this data then? See, here we have a different types of data under this classification of data. One is chronological classification, then spatial classification we call, then other one is qualitative classification, and another one is quantitative classification. Okay, then what do you mean by these different types of classification of data then? I said that here you will be knowing about chronological classification, okay, then spatial classification, next qualitative classification, then we will be having quantitative classification. Okay, quantitative classification. So what do you mean by this chronological classification then? When the data is grouped according to the time ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಾಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ chronological classification ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ for example, if you are collecting the data, okay, if you are classifying the data based on the months, date, like that, year wise, then that is known as what? Chronological classification. Okay, then spatial classification. Spatial means here the data is classified based on the geographical location, based on the place, that is it might be based on country level among the nations, or it might be based on the place, district, states, like that. That is known as what? Spatial classification. And the next one is qualitative classification. What do you mean by qualitative? Qualitative classification means here the data is classified on the basis of different types of attributes like literacy rate, religion, okay, gender, marital status, etc. That is known as what? Qualitative classification. And the other one is quantitative classification. So here the data will be collected, or the collected data will be classified based on the certain characteristics like height, weight, age, income, marks obtained, etc. That is known as what? Quantitative classification. So quantity andrenu motta alva, weight according to some value I'll be classifying the data here. So for example, you can take height, weight, age, etc. Okay, that can be called as what? Quantitative classification. Then after this you will be knowing about the different types of variables. Okay, so you will be knowing about different types of variables. So in this variables we have two types of variables. One is continuous variables and another one is discrete variables. Okay, one is continuous variable and another one is discrete variable. Then we will be having a concept like the frequency distribution. Frequency distribution. Okay, frequency distribution. So for this, first we have to know about what do you mean by frequency here, isn't it? What is frequency then? Frequency refers to how many times the observations have occurred. ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ನಮಗೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡಾಟಾ ಏನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ occurred, how many times the observations have occurred. So that gives us what? Frequency here. Okay, then you will be knowing there about how to prepare a frequency distribution, then how many classes should we have. Okay, then you will be knowing about what should be the size of each class, means what about the class interval, then how should we determine the class limit. Okay, then what do you mean by inclusive method, what do you mean by exclusive method, then how should we get the frequency for each class. Okay, then you will be knowing about finding class frequency by tallying marking. Okay, then after that you will be knowing about frequency array. What is that? Frequency array. Frequency array. So what is this means? It refers to the classification of discrete variable. So discrete variable ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅರೇ. ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅರೇ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ discrete variable, that can be called as what? Frequency array. Okay, then you will be having your two types of frequency distribution. One is univariate frequency distribution and another one is bivariate frequency distribution. Okay, one is univariate frequency distribution and another one will be bivariate frequency distribution. So this is about this organization of data. Okay, next we shall move on to the next chapter, that is about presentation of data. Presentation of data. Okay, presentation of data. See, in this we will be knowing about after collecting the data, then after classifying the data, how to present this data. Okay, how to present this data means how to represent this data, you will be understanding in this chapter. Okay, so the collected data after classification can be represented through diagrams, isn't it? So here you will come across the concept like textual presentation of data, then tabular presentation of data. Okay, and even in this tabulation you will be using the different types of classification of data that we have already studied, that is studied in the third chapter, that is in the organization of data, that is about chronological classification, spatial classification. Okay, then after that qualitative classification, then quantitative classification. So here you will be knowing about what? Textual classification of data. Okay, textual classification of data. What do you mean by this? See, in this textual classification of data, data is described within the text. When the quantity of data is not too large, this form of presentation is more suitable. So ನಮ್ಮ ಡಾಟಾ ಏನು ನಾವು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವೋ ತುಂಬ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂದಾಗ, so usually we will present this type of data, that is textual classification of data. In the upcoming classes we will be knowing about this in detail. Okay, then tabular presentation of data we will be having. Okay, we will be having what? Tabular presentation of data. Okay, so in this tabular presentation of data you will come across chronological, then spatial, then qualitative, then quantitative classification of data. Okay, then we will be having about the tabulation of data and the part of a table. So which are the how to draw the table and what are the different parts of the table you will be knowing here. Okay. Tabulation and the different parts of a table. Different parts of a table. Like we will be having table number, title, captions, or it is also known as column headings, then stubs, or we call it as row headings, like this. Okay. Then diagrammatic presentation of data. You will be having what? Diagrammatic presentation of data. Diagrammatic presentation of data. Okay. So here you will be having the following various important methods. One is geometric diagram we call, then frequency diagram, and another one is arithmetic line graph. Okay. In that geometric diagram, see about this you might have already studied in your high school level regarding bar diagram, isn't it? In that different types of bar diagram you can see, that is simple bar diagram, okay, multiple bar diagram, then component bar diagram. Okay, then after that one of the geometric diagram is, another one is pie chart we call, that is pie diagram. Even about that also you will be studying. Then another one is frequency diagram. Okay, then you will be knowing another concept like histogram. Okay, you will be knowing about what? Histogram. Then what is meant by this histogram? See, histogram means it is a two-dimensional diagram. It is a set of rectangles with base as intervals between the class boundaries. Means that you will be taking on x-axis and with the areas proportional to the frequency. Okay, class frequency, that can be called as what? Histogram. Then after that you will be knowing about frequency polygon. What do you mean by frequency polygon? See, it is a plane bounded by straight lines, usually 4 or more lines. That is known as what? Frequency polygon. Then after that you will be knowing about the concept like frequency curve, then what is meant by ogive and all. Okay. So about this you will be studying in this 4th chapter, that is presentation of data. Okay. Next, the 5th chapter will be measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency. Okay. So in this you will be knowing the different concepts here, that is there are several statistical measures of central tendency. See, in order to measure this central tendency we have a different concept, that is the 3 most commonly used measures which are used to find out the central tendency are arithmetic mean, median, mode. Okay. So here mainly we will be knowing about what? Arithmetic mean, okay, then median, then mode. Okay, when it is a continuous variable, when the class intervals are given, okay, how to calculate this arithmetic mean, then how to calculate this median, mode, and all you will be knowing in this chapter, which is very important concept even for the exam. Okay, how to calculate the arithmetic mean, then how to calculate the median, mode, and all. By different methods you can calculate the mean. About that you will be studying here. Okay. Then after that even the medians also. Then along with that you will be knowing about quartiles. Okay. Quartiles, then percentiles, like that. Even you will be calculating here lower quartile and upper quartile. Okay, so along with the formulas you will be understanding in detail. Then the next chapter will be measures of dispersion. Okay, measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion. So what do you mean by dispersion basically? See, dispersion means it is the extent to which values in a distribution differ. What is meant by dispersion? So measures of dispersion in this, dispersion means what? Dispersion andre enappa andre it is the extent to which values in the distribution differ. Okay, so here you will be calculating the concepts like what is meant by range. Range andre enu? So range heng sigatte namage andre it is a difference between the largest and the smallest value in a distribution alva. So largest value matte smallest value madhye ನಾವು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರೇಂಜ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ quartile deviation, quartile deviation. These are all very interesting topics. Once we commence the classes, okay, with these topics you will be knowing in a better manner because you will be solving the problems there. Okay, then you will be knowing about the standard deviation. You will be having a problems related to standard deviation. Okay, standard deviation. Then you are having a concepts like Lorentz curve in this chapter. Lorentz curve also in this chapter. Okay, see, for group data how to calculate the mean deviation, then standard deviation. For ungrouped data how to calculate the standard deviation and all you will be solving in this problems. Okay, then you will be having a other chapter like correlation as a 7th chapter. Seventh chapter is correlation. Okay, correlation. So what do you mean by correlation? See, correlation studies and measures the direction and intensity of relationship among variables. So it will study about the direction and the intensity of relationship among the different variables, between the variables we can say. Okay, so here also you will be solving the problems and you will be having the different types of correlation in this chapter. Okay, so here correlation R as no unit. Okay, so it is a pure number, which means the units of measurements are not a part of R we can say. And here you will be having the different types of correlation. Different types of correlation here. Okay, one is positive correlation. Okay, and another one is negative correlation. What is meant by positive correlation? Agar positive correlation andre enappa andre, so the correlation is said to be positive when the variables move together in the same direction. Okay, so variables ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆನೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕೊರಿಲೇಷನ್. Then you can take for example, when our incomes increases, our consumption also increases, alva? Obviously. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಯೂಸೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕೊರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕೊರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕೊರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? Here in this what happens is the correlation is said to be negative when they move in opposite direction. When the given variables are moving in the opposite direction, then we say that there is a negative correlation among the variables, isn't it? So for example, you can take the price of the tomato. When the price of the tomato increases, the demand for tomato ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್, ಹೌದಾನೆ? ಸೊ ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಹೌದಾನೆ? ಅಂದರೆ when the product price is increasing, the demand for the good decreases. So that's what happening in this negative correlation. Okay, then you will be studying about the values where the correlation coefficient lies. That is, the value of correlation coefficient lies between what? -1 and +1. So we can say in this way, R will be what? Greater than or equal to -1, or else we can say that it will be less than or equal to +1. Okay, so we will be having a different conditions regarding this R, and here you will be calculating the problem by using different methods of correlation, that is Spearman's rank correlation, and another one is Karl Pearson's correlation. Okay, then you will be knowing about scatter diagram and all. Then we have other chapter, that is 8th chapter, as index numbers. Okay, index numbers. Index numbers. See, index number means what? Index number is a statistical device for measuring changes in the magnitude of a group related variables. Okay, so this index numbers measures the changes in the value of the variable, or else we can say that index numbers are specialized averages. Okay, so by considering the base here, you will be calculating the problems here. So here firstly you will be knowing about construction of an index number, then you will be having a different methods in this, that is aggregative method we have, then method of averaging relatives we have. Okay, then we have some other important index numbers like CPI, that is consumer price index we say, then WPI, that is wholesale price index. So based on the different methods, the formula will be different. So by using that, we had to calculate the values, means we have to solve the problems in that chapter. Okay, and the last chapter in this statistics for economics will be use of statistical tools. Okay, use of statistical tools. So what you can understand in this means, here you will be knowing about what are the steps towards making a project. So project ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನೇನು steps ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. So we have a different types of following steps, that is identifying the problem or an area of study, and the second one is choice of target group, collection of data, then organizing and presentation of data, then analysis and interpretation, and the last one will be conclusion. Okay, then you will be coming across the different types of list of projects here, then you will be knowing there what is meant by sample project, then how to analyze the data and how to interpret the data you will be knowing by going through different types of example in this chapter. Okay, so this is about statistics for economics. I'll continue in the next class. Thank you.